off is taking on a combat tone. We're talking to Michelle Waterson. You know her as the Karate Hottie, Invicta Champion, no longer Invicta Champion, but recently signed a UFC fighter. And congratulations. I guess that's the first thing I should say to you. You're joining the UFC.
Thank you. I mean, it's a long time coming. I feel like when I first started my MMA career, that was one of those things on my checklist. And at that time, it was more of a desire than a goal because Dana was always talking no females in UFC or fighting MMA, period.
Right.
But times have changed, and, you know, I'm glad to be a part of the change.
That's interesting, because right now it seems like the women's side of UFC is starting to pick up some momentum and get kind of hot. Isn't that right?
I think so. I mean,
Especially,
I've always known that it's that women's fighting has been entertaining,
Yeah.
but I just think now that it's become more mainstream, and I think Ronda did a really good job at pushing the girls, to the forefront with her trash talk and not only the fact that she had trash talk, but the fact that she backed it up with a solid technique.
Yeah.
is what kind of cemented the deal for us ladies.
And they kind of always, like you guys are women, so it's like the guys are always looking at you. And so I guess it kind of helps to have some appearance too.
It never hurts. I don't mind looking at some good looking guys fighting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It seems like they market towards that too, because you always see Ronda, like they got her, like all these pictures, her these little poses and all that. It just seems like they try to keep that out there because they're just trying to market their product.
Yeah, and that's just what it is at the end of the day, and you have to understand that, we are females, and it is what it is,
Yeah.
Take it or leave it, and just use whatever works for your business.
And you said you don't mind the compliments though, right?
No, not at all. I don't mind. I mean, if somebody's going to tune in to watch me because my fight name is the Karate Hottie, by all means do so. And then you can see my technique shine through. And then I'll be, one of your favorite fighters for the rest of your life.
Speaking of which, like you always prove yourself in there, especially what I remember from you fighting is how you can kick, man. It's just, I remember you could knock somebody out once and you kicked so high and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so quick.
Yeah.
Is that something that's always been like the strongest part of your game, or?
I do feel like my karate background has played, has given me a huge advantage in a lot of my fights. And that's something I hope to continue and to kind of bring into the UFC, and my dynamic kicking ability and the speed.
And as far as you joining the UFC, so it's you, Holly, and Emily, right? And so you all having all that together on the same team. How much does it help training with each other? As far as, because Holly's kicks are devastating.
Oh
too.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like people people know Holly as a boxer, but if you ever look at her legs, they're huge and it's scary. Like
Yeah.
I sometimes if I know I'm getting ready to spar Holly, I just have to bite down on my mouthpiece and go.
Yeah, because she's strong.
She's strong, and the kicks you can get at such a further distance, and so you really have to be in your A game when you're going with Holly because, her legs are strong.
and so you guys are all training together, and she just made her debut. You're gonna make your debut, Angela Magani, right?
Magana, yeah.
In July 12th, I believe it is. What do you need to do to be ready for that? And have you talked to Holly about making that kind of debut on that kind of ticket?
I haven't really talked to her about that. And so all this is kind of new to me as well. Just, this week, all the news coming out. And so I'm just trying to take it all in. The fight's not until July, so I do have some leeway, some time to kind of, settle into this new organization. But I also feel like I've been training at Jackson's for so long, and I've been around these huge mega stars that when I do talk to them, all of them say the same thing. At the end of the day, a fight's a fight, and when you get in the cage, it's you and your opponent across the ring or the cage.
Right.
So if I just look at it that way, I think that I'll be good to go.
Are you, as far as your career, do you feel like this is one of those milestones? Because like you said, you didn't even think you could ever be in the UFC because they were taking women at the time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I do feel it's a milestone in my career, and it's crazy because it's going full circle. When I first started my career, I fought at 115. And I started dropping down to 105 because I noticed that the girls are bigger than me. And I'm almost been fighting for 10 years now. Now, going back up to 115, I feel comfortable there. I'm bigger now than I was back then. And I have the technique, the strength, the power, the speed to back up my size that I am now. And so I'm pretty excited to go into this new division and show people what I got.
I haven't fought at 115 since 2009, so how is that? Is that like getting back on a bike almost? I mean, does it matter? Do you feel the weight?
I do. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like when I was fighting 115 10 years ago,
yeah,
I wasn't cutting any weight. I was
right.
walking in with my sweats, stand on the scale at 115. So, you know, in my last fight, I was cutting 20 pounds. And it was taking a toll on my body. And I think going back up to 115 is just the best decision for me,
yeah.
Health-wise, the best decision for me because my body's changing. I'm getting older. I'm a mom now. I have a different body composition now than I did when I was, 18, 19 years old.
Right.
And the hardest part for me is telling myself, because I am a heavier weight, not to eat the bad foods that I want. Because, I could get away with eating that ice cream.
And so how disciplined do you have to be? I mean, is it tough?
It's hard because now I'm like, I'm making gains,
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, I have enough time to make sure that the muscle that I put on or the weight that I put on is good weight.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing it slow. I carry a lot of weight in my legs, and so that's what I'm having a hard time is my legs are getting big, and still trying to keep them as fast is what I'm working on right now.
Okay, wow, that's good. That can be tricky too, huh? Mm-hmm. What do you have to do? Run?
I think just learn how to, it's just the repetition, like doing explosive movements with my kicks and feeling that weight as opposed to my old weight, and learning how to use that weight to my advantage.
In football we use power cleans for explosive movement. You do power cleans, and man, that first step is just like, hey, you're out the gate. But anyway, not to sidetrack you. This recent thing with John Jones, I don't know what your relationship is with John, but what are your comments?
John is family. He's part of the team, and I like to keep family issues in house, and I'd rather not talk about it.
Well spoken. I understand. So moving on to your career again. How long do you see yourself doing this? I mean, you talked about like how you're a mom and you started that chapter of your life.
Yeah.
And so you're a mom and you got all these things to do and you got to juggle all that, your career in between all of that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's also fun. I think it's cool now that my daughter is old enough to kind of comprehend what mom does, and so I feel now it's cool that she watches what I do and she can learn from what I'm doing, and so now is probably the best time for me to be that role model for her and that person that she can look up to and say, yeah, my mom's a fighter, and she doesn't give up. She's been to all my fights since she's been born, and she's seen me win, she's seen me lose, and that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to do. It was, lose in front of her. But I also think it's a lesson learned. She sees me lose, but she also sees me get back up the next day and go to the gym, and things happen in life, and you just gotta.
She said mom's a movie star. I saw a Samsung commercial, and it was Michelle Waterson.
Yeah.
Well, that part of your life is growing too.
It's crazy. Yeah, she's all about that stuff. She sees me, Mom, you see you're on TV. She gets all excited. But yeah.
Now I know how much UFC like with I can't think of the other lady's name, but I know Rhonda has had a movie part and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you would pursue? Like if Hollywood gives you a shot, are you interested?
Oh yeah, for sure. Next Mulan, Chung Lee, whoever you got for me, give it to me. As long as it doesn't distract my MMA career, I'm good. Let's go.
Have you been in any movies? Or I know you've done the commercials. But.
Yeah, I've done that commercial, and I have been in movies, but I haven't had like character roles. I've done stunts. I do a lot of stunts, and that's a lot of fun because you get to use your physical, like my physical ability, and you also get to be around all these cool movie stars, and you talk to people from all around the world. So yeah, if the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely take it.
Let's not forget where it all started. Bullet Beatdown, right?
I was nervous doing that.
You were nervous doing that?
Yes.
I remember, because this is funny, because my My oldest son, he loved that show
Uh-huh.
because, you know, like he's like his dad. I can't stand bullies.
Yes.
And he's the same way. And he used to watch that. And we saw you on there. And I had no clue that you were here. And until I walked into Jackson's that time and I saw you.
Uh-huh.
But what, your episode, I remember you took care of that girl.
She had a mouth on her. The reason why I'm so nervous is because I'm a professional fighter coming in here to fight this girl that has no fight experience. So, you know, I gotta handle business. Otherwise, I'm never gonna hear the end of it from my teammates.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and sometimes it's like when you dance with somebody that doesn't know how to dance, they make you look bad.
Yeah.
You know, so somebody that doesn't know how to fight, it's real awkward, and so that's why I was nervous.
Well, did she? What happened at the end? Did she finally straighten up, or?
I probably not.
She was a jerk, huh?
Yeah, she was a jerk, and I remember her saying at the end, she was just like telling the victim, you know, I'm glad you're smart enough to get a professional fighter to fight me and beat me up, but we'll see, you know, how you fare when we get back home, is what she told the girl after the fact. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It was fun to beat that girl up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. Bullies are no fun, and you know the thing about girl bullies is that they're sneaky, man. Girl bullies are snakes. I always say like guys are dogs, but girls are snakes.
Wow.
So like girl bullies, they pretend to be your friend, and then they just, you know, stab you in the back.
That show's done, right?
You know what? I don't know what the deal is with that. It was a good show, and with all the anti-bullying that they have going on right now,
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't bring it back. It's a good concept.
Do you see yourself in a movie down the road?
Yeah. I mean, why not? You know.
All right. Anything else that you want to talk about your fight? Did I cover everything from you?
Yeah, I'm
news?
excited. Like I said, I just have to put the work in, and I feel like everything else will fall into place. And hopefully, you know, I find a good home in the UFC.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that, Michelle Waterson. Just recently joining the UFC, former Invicta Champion. I'm Van Tate, Robert Pugsley behind the camera. We'll see you next time.